Kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai hara mai ki te ao ha kina kina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse, te Korimako o Taranaki 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Now he's known as the Wiz. He has represented not only the amber and black jersey of Taranaki, but also the New Zealand and England jerseys when representing both his nations at sevens. He has since changed his role within the game and now helps referee and officiate games at the highest level. Warwick Lahmert, no mai, hara mai, my bro, how are we?
Not a caps, though. I'm very well, thank you, and thank you so much for having me on this awesome show. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, bro. Hey, it's cool to catch up, man. It's been a little while, but I'm really looking forward to the kōrero and hearing about your journey. Before we start, ko wai koe, no he koe, just a bit about yourself and where you're from.
Yeah, awesome, bro. So I'm originally from the Kapiti coast, down in Horowhenua, Kapiti. So I was born and raised in a little town called Waikanai. So for me, that's where my heart is still, little Waikanai. Played all my junior rugby there on the Kapiti coast, Waikanai, till I was about 24, 25 when I finally moved up to Taranaki to try and further my rugby career. So, yeah, that's my background.
Nice, right? Raised in Waikanai, down there. Some awesome sportsmen and women come from down that part of the world. So Waikanai, you attended Paraparaumu High School alongside the likes of All Black Dane Coles. Is that right? You're a good mate of yours. What was it like growing up down in the Horowhenua?
Yeah, bro. So he's a Paraparaumu lad. So me and Colesy go way back. There's a good tight-knit group of us down from the Kapiti coast, all best mates still, and it's awesome, eh? And yeah, it was good upbringing, being raised by them. We always put pressure on ourselves, especially around the footy field. Yeah, it was an awesome place to be brought up, awesome place to grow, especially with my rugby. Yeah, so awesome spot.
Awesome. No, it is. It's a lovely spot down there. Now, when you were down there as a young fella, was it always rugby union or was there some other sports that you kind of dabbled with as well as a young fella?
In all honesty, there's a bit of rugby league in there, eh? We used to play for the Kapiti Bears. So rugby was always priority. So Saturday was rugby. And then on the Sunday, it was like we got all the local lads. So some of the Raumati boys, the Kapiti College boys would all get together, literally jump on a rugby field and play against like the likes of Wainui Amara, the Vikings, Porirua Vikings, and we'll just get stuck in, eh? It was probably one of the highlights of growing up was going down and playing for the Kapiti Bears, where obviously Steve Kearney, Colesy's old man, Colesy Senior, Steve Coles. Yeah, some awesome ex-players come out of that club. So, yeah, Kapiti Bears, mate. That's where I played in the league.
Hey, the old Kapiti Bears, hey, yep, some Stephen Kearney and the likes from down there. What an awesome club, most definitely. So now, when you were younger, obviously you come through Horowhenua. You ended up making the local Horowhenua side at a young age, and you were spotted down at the Queenstown National Sevens, I believe, and that kind of what followed after that was a move up to Taranaki, where you joined the mighty Spotswood United, well, now United Club. How was that transition, bro?
In all honesty, I was one of those guys who I was a homebody, loved Waikanai, thought I was going to stay there and play sort of 400 or 500 games for the local team. But then I went down to the Queenstown Sevens and played sevens for Horowhenua and had obviously an all right tournament. And then Taranaki seen me, and that was the same year. Titch selected me in his as like a dream team, sevens dream team for that tournament. And then at the same time, Taranaki were like, "Oh, do you want to come up to Taranaki and have a crack in the academy?" And I was humming and hawing, and I thought, right. Titch sort of said, if you want to have a crack at this, you've sort of got to go to a bigger team, which would be someone like one of your big provinces like Taranaki. So, yeah, I thought, right, let's not do the what if, let's make it possible. So, yeah, moved up here and probably hated my first 3 months, in all honesty. Sort of wanted to go home like anyone, bit of a mummy's boy, missed my brothers, got 9 siblings, so yeah, it was a big move, man.
Awesome. Well, hey, the move paid off because in 2019 you won a premiership with Spotswood United You know, and being an ex-player of the club myself, I remember that day fondly. And we didn't get many wins in our time, but that must have been a pretty special year for you guys, getting that win with Spots United.
Mate, when I first moved up, so there was a couple other clubs that were pretty keen to get me involved, but the one thing that stood out for Spotty was that they were the bottom of the table and they were losing by 90, 100 points against your bigger teams like your Old Boys or your Two Copper. So that was the big drive for me, was to go to a club where you could try and make a difference and not go to a club that was already, you know, well established. And so when I first moved here, I was like, right, I wanted to be in town. United were keen, or Spotty at the time. So that was why I went to Spotswood. And then the first game, 90, I think we lost 90-5. And that was Paul Perez scoring a 100-metre try against Old Boys.
I remember those games as well. I think we played Old Boys one time, and I remember we got a penalty kick. I got a penalty kick from about 40, and we were humming and hawing, we're in, and then we lost about 90-3 or something as well.
Oh, mate, it's but I reckon it makes clubs better. Like, it obviously those years that went past and 2019 came around, and I will never forget that semi-final where we were down 19-0 at half-time against Two Copper, and then we came back and won 34-19. That was still to today one of the better games that I've been involved in.
Most definitely. Good club, good people there. Most definitely. So some good memories. Now, you went on to represent Taranaki in 7s and 15s. What was it like donning the amber and black jersey for you?
Mate, awesome, mate. Like, I remember being a young fella, and obviously Wellington was my team back then. And I always was asking questions. How do I get into this team? Like, what do I have to do to get in this team? And I didn't really know the pathways. And finally, moving up to Taranaki, I sort of worked out the pathway through the academy. Then if you go well enough, then you get selected for the wider training group, and then it was onto the bigger team. So my first year of making it was 2014, and I was behind Smiley, and now probably one of the arguably better 9s in the world, which Jamison Gibson Park. So they were the 2 9s in front of me. But obviously when there's injuries, you get your shot. So I played 3 or 4 games that year, and we actually won the premiership that year. But it wasn't until 2019-20 where I got a good crack. I think I just fell short of my blazer with Taranaki. But, mate, you dream of that stuff as a kid. You know, you always dream of the black jersey. But my goals with NPC, like, I really wanted to play in the local comp. So pretty stoked.
Awesome, mate. Well, definitely part of that long list of awesome players that have represented the jersey. Now, obviously, super sharp in the 15-man code, but, you know, it was 7s where you really flourished, and you got to represent New Zealand and wear the black jersey. You also ended up over in England, where you were the captain of the national team there for a bit, on the world circuit. You must be proud of these achievements. And how did the England thing come about?
So, New Zealand. So that New Zealand 7s was 2012-13, where I actually got a crack there. So I got signed for that year, which was unbelievable. Like, I remember sort of tearing up when the team was named, and then you sit after your team's named, you get into a group and you sit around a circle with everyone that was selected, and you just say what it means to you. And I just remember half the boys tearing up. The older heads had already been there a while, obviously used to it, didn't really need to tear up. But just remember that all the young fellas that it was their first time cracking it, was all of them were tearing up. So that was awesome, man. And then to play that year, and then 2014, I decided to go down the 15s route, which is when I got my debut for Taranaki. And then the following year, I sort of wanted to get back into the 7 side of it, but I wasn't hearing anything from Titch, because obviously I chose the 15. So I was like, geez, where am I in the pecking order at the moment? So, and then England gave me a call, and my mother and her side, my granddad, were all from England. So it was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, do I stay here and hope Titch picks me up again, or I've been given this offer to go to England and have a crack there. Do I take it? And I didn't want to be that what if again. So I jumped on a plane on the 1st of January. I had to say no. I was captain of the Taranaki 7, so I had to put that aside. Had to go over there because Wellington 7s was coming up in 2.5 weeks. So yeah, jumped on the plane, got there. After 2 days, they sat me down. Were like, "Look, we want to offer you a contract." So yeah, and then I stayed there for 3 seasons, and then moved home in 2016.
Wow, wow, what a journey, eh? What a journey getting to wear the jersey for New Zealand and for England. Now you've obviously hung your boots up after a stellar career, except for a few runs I heard with the family down in Waikanae. A few cameo appearances, but
Yeah,
refereeing, how did this all come about, and how did you get into refereeing?
So 2020, Paul Williams, so he's one of the world's best referees at the moment. He sent me a random message saying, "Can we catch up for a coffee?" So this was when I was still playing, 2020. "Can we catch up for a coffee?" And I was like, "Oh, wonder what this is about." So we went for a coffee, and about an hour and a half in, walked out of that coffee, and he sort of said to me, "Look, basically, you've been an awesome referee. You've sort of already been doing it from halfback most of your career. So why not come give it a go?" And I was like, "Oh, it's very nice of him to take me for a coffee and sort of pump my tires up a bit that I'd be a good referee." And 2021, I finished playing, and I went down there. I was at the crossroads. I'm like, what am I going to do? So that was when I actually went and played for Kaitaki football team, put on 10 clicks, went down to Waikanae, played maybe 4 or 5 games for the Premier team down there, and we actually won it with them that year with my brother. My brother was playing at the time, and my cousin was the coach. And then I was like, right, what am I doing? Am I going to go down the coaching path, or am I going to go down the refereeing path? And I remembered that conversation I had with Paul, and I was like, right, I'm gonna give this a go. And then yeah, next thing you know, I'm out there running around doing a Colts game at Taranaki, one of the Colts games, and then Div 1, and then Premiership, and then it's all sort of taken off.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, you're doing really well at it at the moment. What is it? Like, now that you're a qualified referee and you're getting some big games now, what do you enjoy about it, and what are some of the challenges that come with it?
Yeah, mate. So just being out there in the middle, really. I've got the box seat. I'm getting to watch a good game of rugby. You're giving back to a game that's done so much for me personally. Since I was 3 years old, I've known nothing else but rugby, really. So yeah, I guess it's box seats to the game. The cons, like, there's, in all honesty, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it is. I thought I was going to get ripped into, but yeah, it's like anything. There's passionate supporters, and they say what they want to say, and at the end of the day, like, there's only the small bunch or the minority that still hold grudges or blame a referee, but most of it's all in good, good health or good ways or good, what's the word? I can't even think of it. But yeah, most of they mean well, and at the end of the day, it's passion, and everyone's got passion for their club. But yeah, I thought it was worse, but it's not. It's actually bloody good fun.
Wow, you're doing a good job there. There's a few other extra ex-players, actually. Sorry, Glenn Jackson, Conrad Smith, and the likes that are giving back to the game. So it's really, really cool to see you in this. But has there ever been any moments where you've kind of made a call and you've gone, shucks, actually, I got that one wrong?
Like, yeah, you get that. You do get that. But as long as you're strong on your call, you could sell it to anyone, really. So you might have gone, geez, I could have gone the other way there, or the player might be like, oh, what about that tackler wasn't rolled out the way? And in your head, you're probably like, yeah, he's probably right. But you show a bit of empathy. Look, I hear what you're saying. I'll have a look at it next time, and then just be strong around your calls. It's where you sort of get like, yeah, you probably, you're sort of right. You just got to have a lot of confidence in it, eh? And yeah, still learning a lot. I've still got a lot to learn, and I'm just trying to take it all in as much as I can. And I'm on the side for Paul this weekend up in Auckland. It should be a big game, Moana versus the Blues. So yeah, learn a lot from him. There's review calls that go on, and I'm watching them all the time, and I'm just taking it all in, eh? But holding a bit of confidence there that, I've played X amount of games, and I've been playing since I was 3. So sort of holding a bit of confidence there that you should know a little bit about the game at least. Yeah.
Well, Wiz, thanks heaps, man, for coming on the show and sharing your amazing journey, bro, and the insight into the life of not only a player, but a referee also. And it's awesome to see the likes of yourself and Conrad out there locally here with the whistle in the hand. So appreciate your time. Wishing you all the best on the future, and hopefully you can get a few test matches in the future, mate. And on behalf of all of us here in Taranaki, mate, keep up the great work.
I really appreciate it, bro. And this is awesome. I appreciate you getting me on the show. And I love doing stuff like this, And hopefully we get some more referees on board from this. So, I appreciate it.
Awesome,
Even
mate.
you, bro.
Cheers, brother.